My name is Peter Friedrich. 21 years ago, a paramilitary organization in India called the RSS took to the streets of the Indian state of Gujarat to spend 3 days slaughtering men, women, and children from the Muslim community. And by the time the carnage subsided, approximately 2,000 Muslims lay dead. You will, I hope, be shocked to learn that the RSS paramilitary, which perpetrated that atrocity, has a direct connection to the town of Matthews here in North Carolina. That pogrom in Gujarat, India, was overseen by a brand new head of the state, a lifelong member of the RSS named Narendra Modi. Perpetrators of the pogrom, survivors, whistleblowers from Modi's regime, Indian human rights investigators, and international human rights organizations all corroborated each other on a couple of major points. First, this paramilitary, the RSS, was behind the violence, and second, Modi himself allowed at best or orchestrated at worst the massacre. So right now, you are probably scratching your heads and wondering how all of this connects to Matthews. Well, during the 2002 Gujarat pogrom, RSS-linked killers who took to the streets infamously raised the refrain, "The police are with us." Graffiti claiming the same was scrawled in targeted neighborhoods, and surviving eyewitnesses have testified how police under Modi's control either stood back and passively permitted the bloodshed at best or actively joined the mobs in their butchery at worst. And this was not the only anti-minority massacre committed by the RSS in the 21st century, nor the only one in which police were openly complicit. So here now is the relevance of all of this to Matthews. The RSS paramilitary in India has an international wing called the HSS. The HSS in America serves as a support base and propaganda mouthpiece for the RSS to such an extent that when Modi, who was then known as the Butcher of Gujarat and banned from this country, ran for Prime Minister of India, HSS leaders here in America worked to help get him elected. Meanwhile, the town of Matthews has repeatedly engaged with the HSS, presumably out of innocent ignorance. Mayor Higdon in March of this year reported a meeting with the HSS and called them very nice. Last year, the Matthews Police Department welcomed a huge contingent of uniformed HSS members to celebrate a festival and do a photo op. And in 2021, the town passed a proclamation applauding the HSS. Now, pardon me, I do not mean to sound impudent, but in all of these years of engaging with the HSS, did anyone on the board here ever take just a few seconds and actually Google the group? Seriously, have any of you done that? I have. On the very first page of results, it says that HSS's parent organization is the RSS. Well, then what happens if I Google the RSS? The first result says that the RSS is an Indian far-right Hindu nationalist volunteer paramilitary organization. Shouldn't it be a little concerning that the town is platforming and praising an affiliate of a far-right paramilitary in India? Shouldn't it also be a little concerning that the town is apparently doing this without even bothering to check out the background of the organization before engaging with it? North Carolina is home to many Indian Americans from religious minority backgrounds back in India, people whose families are currently facing persecution by the RSS and its figurehead Modi. I have here gentlemen who have joined me, residents of the Charlotte area, Mr. Elias Muhammad, Mr. Farhan Syed. Mr. Elias Muhammad is the president of the Indian American Muslim Council Charlotte chapter, and both Indian origin Muslims. Well, remember how I told you that the RSS in India chanted, "The police are with us," while murdering Muslims back in Gujarat, the Indian state of Gujarat? Then how do you think it makes Indian American Muslims in this area feel, for instance, when they see the Matthews Police Department embracing the HSS, which is the US or the international wing of that RSS paramilitary back in India? I ask you, what excuse other than ignorance does Matthews have for giving space to the HSS, to the international wing of a violent fascist paramilitary like the RSS? And if it's an issue of lack of knowledge, I have here for each member of the board a short info packet about the RSS and its ties to the HSS, and I will follow up with more detailed information via email within the next day. And I would recommend you also reach out to people like Mr. Elias Muhammad of IEMC Charlotte to discuss this issue, which is of deep concern to him and the Indian American Muslim community and other Indian Americans in this region. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Friedrich.